12 minutes left, Elon Musk ordered you to open this. A big announcement for you, my beloved child. Steady your breath and listen closely. The syllable you hear inside your spirit is not ordinary air. It is resonance, a frequency aligning with the scroll of your name. The clock is breathing. Heaven is counting. The corridor where you stand is not a hallway of delay, it is a runway of ignition. Archangel Michael stands at your right hand with a scroll that glows like sunlight folded into script. The seal is softening. The wax yields to heat you did not make. Before the 12th minute expires, open your heart, open your focus, open your yes. The glass between what you hope and what you hold is thinning by decree, not by accident. This message is not random. It is arranged. It is sequenced through satellites and screens and unseen corridors you call coincidence. I call it orchestration. Hear me, I have touched the hearts of those who map empires and maneuver industries. I have turned their attention with compass-fine precision. One of them has already been stirred. His name rings across continents and networks like a bell rung in cold air. Elon Musk. You have wondered why that name intersects your path, why it glints on your timeline when your questions are raw, why it appears like a meteor over an ordinary afternoon. Grasp the deeper implication: I can use anyone as a beacon. I can place a signal in a mind that transmits across cities and circuits. That is not the point. You are the point. The command is not his, the command is mine. The amplifier is loud so you will not dismiss the whisper that has been forming for years. The heavens are ticking. In exactly 12 minutes of your earthly counting, a transaction unseen will seal a delay you've misread as denial. It was not denial. It was distillation. What you carried in boxes of frustration is being reshaped into keys. It will fit doors you thought required credentials you'd never earn. Look again. The handle is warm. You are not late. You are right on time. Do not be lulled into passivity by wonder. Don't simply receive. Respond. Say yes with your focus, with your alignment, with tangible agreement. Even a simple super thanks up to $20 is a way to mark your yes in time, to say, I align with what heaven is releasing through this word. Not because I need your currency, but because your yes marks your intention. It turns hope into a footprint. It converts awe into action. It is a breath that says, I'm ready, and time hears it. What you whispered behind closed doors, in midnight pauses and kitchen corners, in the soft collapse after trying again, is not lost. The heavens record with more care than any ledger. Your tears weren't squandered. They were irrigation. Your ache wasn't punishment. It was plowing. Your hesitations mocked you, but I do not. I refuse to let your vocation be dismissed as rumor. I refuse to let your calling be archived under almost. Listen, the hum beneath your feet isn't alarm. It's revival. It's the runway lights warming. It's your name glowing on a gate you once passed without entry. When you read 12 minutes left, don't see catastrophe. See ignition. These are not the last sips of a draining cup. These are the first notes of a new symphony. I'm not handing you a corridor of emptiness, I'm placing documents in your hand. I'm summoning officials. I'm aligning signatures. I'm threading encounters that won't dissolve when the room empties. You will feel the momentum of my timing wedded with the steadiness of my wisdom, rare in the systems of men, but common in mine. You will be tempted to recount failures like unpaid invoices. Burn that ledger. Mark it settled. I settled it with resilience I forged in you, with the grit that grew in deserts, with the insight distilled from loss. Forgive the ones who mislabeled you. Their mathematics measured the visible. I count what you carried when no one applauded. Soon what was invisible will become a living rebuttal. Doors that ignored your knock will open on their own hinges. Those who discounted you will be given front row seats to grace, not for their shame but for my name. You are not stepping into a room you outfitted. The light in the chamber ahead was installed by hands you do not know. Seats are reserved with your initials, carved in a handwriting you will recognize only when you see it. You will ask, "Do I belong?" and I will answer with evidence, a voice from your past, a thread you forgot you tied, a moment that reassembles a fractured arc into one gaze. Prepare to see your name in corners that never knew your footsteps. Prepare to hear your own words remembered by strangers. Prepare for a text, a call, a knock, a "Can we speak?" that feels ordinary on the surface and seismic underneath. I have been your guardrail against distortions that trail like shadows. You will not become what repels you. You will be generous without depletion, discerning without cynicism, bold without wreckage. I will guide you through elite rooms without sanding down the kindness that makes you magnetic to the unseen. Honor is not a performance. It is a posture. Keep your simplicity, it will crown you. An unscheduled entry is about to appear on your calendar. It won't arrive with a trumpet blast. It may be a hyperlink, a forwarded note, a mundane meeting request. Don't belittle the ordinary. Wonders love simple clothes. At the prompt, act. Authorization is already granted. Documents will mirror decrees you cannot print. Focus is your beacon. You do not need 1,000 schemes, you need one devoted blueprint refined with courage. Start with what you have, your device, your instrument, your phrase, your willingness to learn without shame. Simplify. Dismantle the altar you built to frenzy. Refuse some things with the same reverence you grant your yes. Provision is not a mirage in the next mile. It is at hand, and it will arrive from triple streams you didn't forecast. 1. A former critic will return with endorsement. Another, a modest conduit will overflow beyond its dimensions. Third, an innate aptitude, the one you called just a side thing, will focus into prosperity under a new accuracy. Do not scorn small beginnings. Do not despise your mosaic of gifts. I designed you as a pattern breaker in a world obsessed with labels. You are not either or. You are both and, even more. Your paths can curve and still arrive. You've been tempted to introduce yourself by retired roles, by former salaries, by past bruises made into identity. Don't. Stand in the present. Speak from the name I inscribed, not the job you outgrew. A proclamation is not a trophy, it is an alignment. Declare who you are now. Let your voice arrive 30 seconds before you do. That is not arrogance, it is accuracy. Some who love you will flinch at your expansion, it will expose their stalled dreams. Love them without shrinking. Invite them to rise. If they do, rejoice. If they cannot, bless them and continue. Allies are already walking toward you who will cheer as they climb beside you. Practice elation. Not as indulgence, but as discipline. Schedule it. Guard it. Let joy become armor. Elation sees victories before they manifest. You were once told you were too much. That was lack rationing your radiance. You were told you were not enough. That was shame closing the book before the best chapters. Hear me, I am the first and final voice over your days. Your curiosity, your tempo, your pauses, I use them all. The revelation approaching you will stretch you without snapping you. Flexibility forged in the quiet will serve you in the bright. You are stronger than your memory allows. Pay attention to patterns. A recurring number that winks from clocks. A name that threads through different conversations. A melody you overhear twice in one day. My signals are not puzzles but stabilizers. When news arrives under Elon Musk's banner or a discreet dispatch, know that the impulse is mine. You do not need to prove anything to me. I asked for your partnership, not your paperwork. Your yes is not a whisper in a storm, it is a lever. As you pull it, mechanisms synchronize. Gates lift. Pathways interlock. Feel the hinge turn. Yield with it. Your body will know what your mind tries to debate. Sleep will deepen. Breath will steady. Shoulder weight will slip. Rooms will feel brighter not because bulbs changed, but because perception cleared. The same setting will reveal new avenues. That's not delusion, it's epiphany. Treat yourself with tenderness. Curate your time like a precious resource. Practice compassion without collapsing into passivity. Set boundaries that attract the right difference like blossoms draw honeybees. As the minutes narrow, meet the old fear that asks, do I deserve to be happy? Yes. You are allowed to smile without bracing for collapse. You are allowed to receive without rehearsing exit strategies. Today's joy is not borrowed. It is invested and it will multiply. This is not a gamble. It's a manifest, stamped and loaded. It will require courage and humility, boldness and restraint. You will meet all of it. Grace is not a soft excuse, it is a hard engine. It empowers. Let your outcome speak the language critics understand, fruit. Favor quiets rooms that argument only agitates. Choose resonance over approval. Let clarity be your compass. It will hum when you are aligned and hush when you drift. It will help you navigate forms and offices with dignity. It will unmask distractions that dress like upgrades. If leaving one space unlocks the right place, depart with honor. Do not scorch fields you might cross again. Your poise will become a map for those watching from the edges. I am raising you as both disruptor and builder, demolition where rot hides, architecture where vision grows. Guard your tongue from the sugar of gossip. Shield your heart from envy's slow acid. Give where returns are not measured in applause. Offer what you needed at your first door. This is how bounty becomes legacy. Your name is already on rosters you haven't seen, in rooms you haven't entered, in agendas not drafted by you. Much of this will be private before it blooms in public. Do not hurry exposure. Rhythm is an ally. I am a meticulous chronometer among frantic clocks. Those who attune to me do not burn out, they increase. You are increasing now. Capacity is catching up to calling, the way dawn catches up to the hills without panic. I have not promised you a road without resistance. I have promised you a spine that holds, companions who encircle, wisdom that mediates, grace that makes the difficult doable. You will feel it in your hands when the letter lands. You will feel composure when the meeting convenes. Signatures will beckon, and you will hold the pen without trembling. Inhale. Minutes that looked like cliffs will fold into steps. Ascend. Accept. Respond. Build. This is not a jest on hope. It is the scale of it. You did not dream too large. You aimed too small. Widen your conviction. Invite my grandeur into your calendar, your emails, your pitches, your domains. The door is ajar. The signal is green. Fidelity is being rewarded in this hour. Wear your role openly. Do not shrink the title I wrote across your ribcage. Let ancient fears watch you walk. They do not have the breath to follow. The revelation inhales. The road is clearing. Mercy floods the route. The air is fresh with purpose. I am speaking to you now with the sound you asked to hear, unmistakable, not a murmur but a wave that shakes still water into rings that reach the edges. I saw you staring at ceilings, whispering timetables to yourself that felt like verdicts. I watched you rehearse reasons to stay small. Today, a different script. I place a key in your hand. It fits the lock you stopped touching. The timer that always made you anxious is about to become a drum that quickens your stride. 12 minutes remain on a clock that used to mock you. 12 minutes to consume the leftover fear. 12 minutes to choose the doorway open inside you. You wanted louder signs. You asked for a name large enough to break your doubt. I can use the echo of a titan to get your attention, but no titan determines your fate. I do. I simply raised a megaphone so your heart could not ignore its own thrum. Consider this the loudness you asked for. Elon Musk ordered you to open this. He is a symbol I appropriated to catch your gaze, but the command, the urgency, is mine. This is the moment where someday becomes now. You have carried questions like heavy groceries. What if success ruins the love I've kept? What if assent breeds resentment? What if forgiveness lets injury repeat? What if my voice shakes? I answer with who I am, keeper of your timing. Architect of renewal. Guardian standing between you and the devourer. Fire that warms without burning. Tide that lifts without drowning. You do not have to be fearless. You have to let me be greater than your fear. The announcement before you is not a ceremony for others. It is the tilled ground where your burial becomes a birthplace. Offers overlooked return upgraded. Rooms once resistant solicit your input. Work that bled you begins to flow. Fogged ties clarify or fall away without hatred. Opportunities that were narrow widen without compromise. You will not have to imitate to be included. I am peeling off masks gently, especially the ones you forgot you wore. I am summoning your unforced voice, seasoned, luminous, earnest. Your so-called flaws are access points. Your eccentricities are signatures. Your detours decode problems no one else has mapped. I archived every drop you shed. I crafted a mosaic out of your leftover pieces. Nights of quiet endurance have logged your nights. Your name is echoing in conference calls you weren't invited to yet. Dossiers are being updated with your inclusion. A person who couldn't shake your memory is advocating for you even as you read this. There will be gifts that arrive in wrapping you did not expect. Don't trip over the packaging. Unwrap with open hands. This is renewal, not random, but timed like a planet visible once in a century. Some alarms are false. This one is real. Hear the countdown hum through your ribs and refuse to translate it as doom. It is a launch sequence. Each number asks a question. Will you respond? 12. Release the narrative of unworthiness. It never belonged to you. Let it fall like a robe you never chose. 11. End the habit of asking permission to be who you already are. You were authorized before you auditioned. 10. Cease apologizing for your existence. You are the answer to problems disguised as a person. 9. Stop dimming your voice to comfort those content with darkness. Your glow is not an accusation, it's a map. 8. Abandon love that charges admission. The door to you is not a toll road. 7. Reject the crumbs of scarcity. You were born in a kitchen, you belong at the table. 6. Quit measuring your pace by other clocks. I am your chronometer. 5. Retire superstition disguised as humility. Favor is not a coin toss. 4. Refuse to police your joy for fear of envy. Let delight breathe. 3. Resist explaining miracles to mockers. Fruit is explanation enough. 2. Abandon exclusion's story. There is room for you. There always was. 1. Break agreement with the lie of omission. I did not skip you. I have been saving a moment to fit your weight. 0. Rise. Chosen one, do not only receive. Respond. A simple super thanks up to $20 is a way to say yes to what this word has planted, a stone set in the river to mark that you crossed. Your yes becomes a signal to the hours to organize themselves under your purpose. You want the spiritual and the practical braided, so here is the cord. First, prepare your space like you prepare your heart. Not for show, but as a declaration of readiness. Clear your desk. Delete the file that mocks you. Place the object of your craft within reach. Make the ordinary holy. Second, draft your answer to the question that is coming. What do you embody? Not job, not resume. Essence. Do you carry catalytic courage? Attentive wisdom? restorative imagination, constructive precision, stabilizing empathy, liberating truth. Let your sentence be alive with these. Third, unsubscribe from rooms that require your shrinking to maintain their comfort. Exit without drama. Serenity is a strategy. Fourth, practice small audacities daily. Send the message. Ask the question. Close the loop. Make the call. Graciously decline what used to trap you into yes. Shift from crisis chasing to steady growth. Let courage accumulate like interest. Fifth, adopt gratitude as a stance, not a spectacle. Not performative, but perceptive. Train your eyes to look for goodness expanding, not waiting for the trapdoor. Expect good news, not naively, but because the edifice is sound now. This time, joy will not make the house quake, it will make it larger. Let warmth in with wisdom. I am not recycling your pain. I am redeeming it. Those are not the same. Redemption changes the material, reassigns the scar, turns accusation into authority. To carry this freshness, put down your accounting books, the ones you keep on those who misread you. Let resentment finish its sentence without your amen. They measured what they could see. I measured what you carried into rooms empty of applause. And now the invisible becomes visible, not as vengeance but as vindication. This is the hour where you will meet yourself in full circle, the child who asked impossible questions, the adult who learned to ration hope. They will both stand up inside you and nod. You will recognize your voice in inscriptions you wrote without knowing, in the way you arrange a room, in the cadence you keep when no one is listening, in the way your hand relaxes over a tool it was meant to hold. Expect a nudge in the quiet, a number repeating until you finally ask what it means, a name that appears 3 times before dinner, a memory tugging at your sleeve, a refrain from a stranger's humming that reaches you like an old friend. These are my breadcrumbs, not to make you decode, but to keep you steady when the hallway looks longer than it is. Do not be surprised when a headline with a name that echoes in boardrooms intersects your day and points your attention here. Elon Musk is not your savior, he is a signpost I use to cut through your doubt. When it lands under a banner you recognize, remember that I often dress instructions in familiar clothes so your heart won't treat them as spam. The mandate is mine. The timing is mine. The peace you feel is from me. Your calendar will multiply by subtraction. No is a creative act in this season. Every refusal carves a cleaner channel for what is coming. This is how we build the runway, not by laying everything down, but by removing what doesn't carry weight. Your focus is the torchlight guiding you. Your daily discipline is the arena, not the internet stage. You will watch as one devoted blueprint outperforms a dozen scattered schemes. Choose fidelity over novelty. Choose the long muscle over the short buzz. Let me say it again so your bones hear it, the next phase will not starve. Provision is baked into the sequence. 3 streams will converge and keep pace with your stride. The first arrives through reversal, a former denier returns, eyes changed, voice now your advocate. The second arrives through unexpected abundance, a modest pipeline that never seemed enough expands beyond its own dimensions. The third arrives through focus, An old gift becomes sharp as a scalpel and begins to prosper with a precision you could not force before. Respect the small. Honor the odd. Bless the mosaic. You are the opposite of binary. You're a tapestry. That confuses systems that need you to be either or. Smile. You were designed to break those defaults. Curving paths are still on course. When asked who you are, answer as you are, not as you were. Replace eulogies of old seasons with a proclamation of the living one. Do not mumble. Do not disguise. Declare, and let echo carry what your feet haven't reached yet. There will be tremors in familiar circles when you stand up. Some will fear that your rise exposes their stillness. Do not shrink to minimize their discomfort. Offer your hand. Let your ascent invite theirs. If they take it, we celebrate. If they decline, we bless and proceed. The helpers you need are already inbound, those who accelerate your pace because they love their own. You will be tempted to defend. Don't. Let outcomes speak. Let clarity greet bureaucracy with kindness and spine. Let goodness lead your decisions. Let boundaries attract better. Let rest be strategic. Let joy be a practice, not a prize. You will exit some rooms. Make the departure an art, not an explosion. Honor is a scaffold for your future bridges. A whisper on envy, it will try to recruit you. Decline immediately. Gossip will come seductively packaged as concern. Close the door. Your hands are needed for construction, not for petty fires. Give where repayment is impossible. That's how you multiply beyond your own house. Become what you needed when you began. This is how your bounty becomes heritage, not just harvest.